Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. It's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another one of our viewer specials. For those of you who are somehow unfamiliar, because I've been doing this pretty regularly for quite a while now, and even before I picked it back up again, we did it a lot in the past. The viewer special is a weekly series we do where every Monday we watch replays, not from myself, but from you all, the viewers. If you would like to submit one of your replays to be featured here on the channel, then there are a couple of ways that you can do that. You can either leave the information that I'll be needing in the comment section of this video below, or you could also go ahead and in the space below the video, check out the description where you will find a link to my Discord server. On my Discord server, I have a channel where I have just dedicated set it up to take in the viewer special submissions. So that's definitely the better place to submit, to be totally honest, because that's the one I check more often, and it's just a lot easier for me to check. I do look on YouTube as well, so if you don't have a Discord or aren't interested in joining the server, that's totally fine, and I will check YouTube too, but I would definitely recommend submitting in the Discord if possible. So the information that I'll be needing in order to feature your duel is mostly your 9-digit player ID here. That way I can go to your profile and view the replays. Definitely make sure you have your replays saved publicly, any that you want me to see. If it's not saved publicly, then I am not able to view it. As far as other information, if you have multiple replays saved and you want me to see a specific one, definitely make sure that you specify it by the date and time, or by the name of your opponent, or so on and so forth, so that way I know which game you want me to watch. It's also helpful to, if you want to throw in a little blurb about the game, right? You could be like, I played this deck versus this deck, or if you want to talk about how the game went, that is totally fine. I do end up watching pretty much everything that gets sent in, so even if you don't get featured in a video, you know, there's always next week, and two, know that I definitely did watch your game again, even if I didn't ultimately end up featuring it. You can submit as many different replays as you would like. I just ask that you don't submit the same game and spam it over and over again. But yeah, if you've got like 10 different replays, it's totally fine. You can submit 10 different games. That is a-okay with me. Got a few picked out for us to watch today, so let's go ahead, and this will actually be the last viewer special before the next wave of Cashier cards come out. That new selection pack is coming very, very soon, within like, I think a little over 12 hours at the time this video is actually going out. So let us go ahead and dive straight into these games here. Alright, our first duel comes to us from Filenzi, who has a game where they are playing a pure Kaiju deck, and you mentioned that you have a bit of a synchro engine going on here as well, so definitely interested to see how this duel plays out. It also looks like quite the back and forth with, was that 8 turns there? Hell yeah, we got the Assault Synchron, we've got Dark Hole, and the Kaiju Slumber, and a Lightning Storm. Oh, and even better, we forced Mikanko to go first. That's pretty awesome. Hang on, I want to check out your extra deck real quick. I always like peeking at people's extra decks when I look at the duel lives or replays or what have you. Hell yeah, I can already tell by this extra deck that I am immediately down for a deck like this. Also pure Kaiju, definitely not something you see all the time. Gonna get a tuning for another Assault Synchron here. Yep, second off their monster for the Kaiju, and then we're gonna go for the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, putting a Gamma Seal on their field and a Gandarla on ours. Looks like the Mikanko Promise is going to get activated in response, but we can just go ahead and throw down this Assault Synchron. Does this bounce? Is that what it does? Or no, it takes control, right? So yeah, they're going to steal our Kaiju, which gets popped because they have a Kaiju, I believe is why that happens. Alright, tuning for another Assault Synchron. We end up bidding a Dark Hole, setting an Assault Synchron, and then passing. I thought it was interesting that we chose not to use the Lightning Storm on the back row right away. We could have potentially forced the trap card, but I don't necessarily know how much good that would have done us, to be totally fair. Given that we're playing against Mikanko too, it's pretty easy to do stuff like set Assault Synchron, right? Because then they just can't really necessarily come back. Ooh, we have the Kyoto Waterfront. This is actually... Oh, let's let this Dark Hole resolve first, but this is actually a really important card to pure Kaiju. I actually do have a little bit of experience playing with this card, and kind of with playing Kaijus as an archetype. It was during the NR format, or Limit 1. One or the other, I played like a going second Kaiju. It was Limit 1, I think, because that was when I played like Kaiju, Sky Striker, Zodiac. all in one deck, and we did play as Kaiju engine, including the Kyoto Waterfront. So this card's actually dope. It's a really, really good card. Getting a couple of counters there as we Dark Hole the Kaiju there. We get to Slumber for the Raiden. That's going to come down on the opponent's field. Kyoto Waterfront lets us add the Gamma Seal because we get to, you know, remove the counters in order to do that. Summoning Gamma Seal and then going for the Assault Synchron. We get to sync for 10, and we finally get to throw down Baron de Fleur. Baron is going to activate. We're popping the Raiden here, moving to battle phase, smacking into our opponent, and now they got to play through an Omni-Negate on top of a Kyoto Waterfront that's already got a lot of counters on it, so... Now this looks really weird. You might be thinking, wait, why did we give up our Omni-Negate just for the Gamma Seal? Like, why would you do that ever? Fun fact, if you were not aware about this, the Kaijus all have effects that involve using the counters, and the Gamma Seal can actually remove 2 Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field, and then it can negate the activation of a card effect, a card or effect, and then banish the card. That's also not once per turn, by the way. So, fun fact, Gamma Seal, not only the best one to give to your opponent, because it has the lowest attack points, but that's also why I think it has such a strong effect, because it ends up being the best one to give to your opponent. And it can move the Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field, so you do have to be mindful of that when you're giving your opponent Kaijus and you've got something like the Kyoto Waterfront up. But yeah, fun fact for those who didn't know, the Gamma Seal is an Omni-Negate. Oh my god, wait, they have their own Kaiju monster in their deck? That came out of their deck, didn't they special that from hand? That's actually kind of wild. That was like maybe the one exact situation which it maybe wouldn't have been better to have the Gamma Seal and the Baron there. But we can just add a Kaiju of our own. We're getting Gandrala, which this halves the attack of all other monsters on the field by removing 3 Kaiju counters, so we can battle over their, not Gizmek, what is this one called? Jizukiru, that's what it is. Collecting not to set the Super Poly is kind of interesting, but maybe we just don't have targets anyway. I mean, what are our Super Poly targets? Yeah, we have a few. Ooh, Ohibe is coming down. Yeah, Super Poly wouldn't have done anything here anyway. Getting some more counters. Let's see, each time a card is sent from the field to the graveyard. I was trying to remember what the trigger was there. Alright, we take the 2700, but that's not a huge deal necessarily. Adding another Promise is definitely annoying, though. As well as having the Huli on the field is going to prevent targeting, so... Alright, Kyoto Waterfront's adding a Raiden here. Super Poly is coming down. We get to send a Lightning Storm and fuse the Gandrala with the Huli in order to summon the Mud Dragon. That'll get rid of the targeting protection on the opponent's field. Mikanko Promise is going to bring out the Nini, but that's just going to go ahead and get sacked off for the Gamma Seal. And then we summon the Raiden, and then Raiden bounces the Ritual Monster, which also blows up the equip spells. Then, yeah, we can just battle over the Gamma Seal there. That's good. Because, yeah, we're not activating any effects, so Gamma Seal doesn't have anything to, like, negate there, right? And that's ultimately going to win us the duel. With the quote-unquote connection fail that we all know is the person probably just closing the app on their mobile phone, but, excuse me. GG's, definitely. For Lindsay, thank you very much for showing off that duel. Kaijus plus Assault Synchron. Definitely a very good combination. So let's go ahead and check out the next duel here. Okay, looks like Tier 0 here has our next duel we're going to take a look at. It's going to be this game here, and I'm trying to remember what the matchup was. Well, there's going to be something kind of funny that happens during this duel, and I'm pretty eager to show it off here. So, alright, yeah, that's right. We're on Tearlaments. I'm not going to give away what our opponent's playing just yet, but we're on Tearlaments. So, always interesting to see a Tearlaments build, especially in this day and age. Opening very well, we have the Perla Rhino and the Shiren and multiple danger monsters, so we definitely get to start with plays here. Alright, summoning the Kiklos. Kiklos' effect is going to activate, sending the Shiren. Yep, Shiren activating to shuffle itself back with the Kiklos, and now we get to drop the Roll Kolos. It's so sad. It is actually a little bit sad knowing that that's like all the fusing you can do this turn now, but we do get to search with the Stoliac that we milled, so that's good. Looks like we're gonna start proccing some more danger effects here. Oh wow, we even drew the Havness so we can bring back the Rhinoheart. That was a really good draw. Oh wait, was that a draw or did we add that? We drew that, wow. And Time Thief Redoer. Alright. Standby phase, let's activate Redoer and see what we... Oh. Oh. Damn, looks like this player's really lost their head. Huh? Huh? Yeah, no, that's good. Your play is good. That not my joke. But wow, Redoer is stealing the actual literal win con of our opponent's deck, and this is the funniest part. This is the funniest part, y'all. Our opponent didn't notice. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. They can't win. It's so good. That's so good. This is for everyone who's ever had to sit through one of these Exodia combos. This one's for you all. Because, let me tell you something, Exodia is some amount of bullshit. It's like, I made a tweet about this kind of recently, actually, where it's kind of funny how a lot of Yu-Gi boomers who complain about how modern Yu-Gi-Oh is played, the complaint they'll make is that Yu-Gi-Oh is so boring. All you do is draw your whole deck and then win on turn 1 nowadays. What the heck is that all about? But then if you look at Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel content that is kind of like geared towards Yu-Gi boomers, like a good chunk of it, like at least 25% of it is like what the opponent's doing right now, where it's just an Exodia deck that draws their whole deck on turn 1 and then wins. It's almost like that's exactly what they're complaining about. Yeah, so. Yeah, I don't know that Exodia has ever done anything fair. We were actually having a bit of a discussion on Twitter about this when I made that thread of like how alt-win cons are either FCKs or unplayable. Except there is an exception I can think of, because people were kind of saying, like, oh, if only there was an alt-win con that wasn't an FTK or unplayable. And it's like, oh yeah, you want that? That actually exists. It's called Runic, and you all hate it. So, not that I'm like, you know, like, I think it's valid to dislike Runic if you don't like that playstyle, if you don't like getting milled. But, like, it's just kind of funny that, you know, I just find it interesting when that phenomenon happens where it's like, oh, you know, the player base wants a certain thing, but it's a thing they've actually already had, and then it turns out they hated it, so. Normally, I would be tempted to fast forward through stuff like this, what the opponent's doing, but again, this is just so satisfying. I wonder at what point they're gonna realize. How do they not know yet? That's their whole deck, how do they not know? What are they doing? They're reloading. They're just reloading their hand and then drawing it again. Oh, this is good. I think maybe they do know at this point and now they're just being cheeky. Of all the cards to steal too, like good God almighty. And yeah, the opponent absolutely would have FTK'd us here if we hadn't taken exactly one of the limbs of Exodia. But it's great too because not only did we take a limb of Exodia, we took the limb of Exodia. We actually took the card that says they win the duel. Oh, they can attack directly. I was really confused there for a second, but it's, yeah, because of the Cursed Bamboo Sword. Bamboo! Okay, so now we just, like, yeah. Get to the point where we have 8,000 damage on the board and end this game. I mean, we could also just pass, actually, and our opponent would deck out. I didn't even think about that until just now, but you know what? They wanted us to suffer, and they have in turn known suffering. This is just so good. I love games like this. This is good. And Thanos snapped out of existence. Beautiful. That was excellent. Thank you very much for that game, Tier 0. I feel like that replay was like the antithesis of all those Yu-Gi boomers. I swear to God, I didn't even think about this till right this second. That replay really is the antithesis to all the Yu-Gi boomers who love watching Exodia FTK on meta deck. That was good. That was excellent. Thank you very much for that submission. We've got one more to watch. Let's go ahead and go into that last game here. Alright, and our last game comes to us from Toad Talker. If you wonder why my facial expression changes in these videos, by the way, it's because I have my facial expressions tied to my number pad here. And so, when I type these in on my number pad, I always forget about that. That's why I looked sad during that first game. But anyway, Toad Talker, who is different from Best Toad. We have 2 Toad fans in the audience. Hell yeah. We're going to watch a replay, this duel here, against Stanley. This is a Spright mirror, and you know me. We're all Spright enjoyers here, right? Right? No. But yeah, I'm a Spright enjoyer. You know it, so we're definitely going to watch a Spright mirror. And we're on the Deep Sea Diva engine, and we're teching Book of Eclipse, which is definitely looking not too shabby moving forward. Action right off the bat during the draw phase. Maxi is getting met with the Psyframe here, Gamma, in response. I wanted to see your extra deck, too. I was kind of curious. Okay, you're rocking the Pit Knight Airly, which I've definitely considered playing a couple of different times. And we've also got some Mannequin Cat shenanigans going on here as well. Mannequin shenanigans? Oh my god, we E-teleed for the other Gamma? I forgot about that. I forgot that this happened this game. That's actually insane. Holy shit. Alright, here's the Gigantic. Gigantic's pulling Little Boy Blue. Blue is going to add Dodgette. Special Jet. Can just vomit out our hands, and now that we know we can't get nibbed here. Leaking off the Driver and the Blue for Elf, I imagine. Yep. Elf is going to bring back Blue, and then are we going to go for Sprint here? Yep, looks like it. Alright, Sprint is activating next. Going to send an Angler. Angler's effect is going to summon 2 Nimble Beavers, and this is very likely the last time we're going to be seeing 2 Nimble Beavers on the field on this channel. Maybe ever. I don't know. Nimble Beaver will probably come off at some point. Maybe. I don't know, actually. Who knows? Ooh, Gamma Burst is like kind of a mid-draw, but the Book of Eclipse to force out the carrot here is definitely a lot better. It also forces the Elf effect here as well. What doesn't force it necessarily? They just chose to use it then. Alright, Jet is going to grab a starter, I imagine, yeah. That will proc our triple attack, though. And we're taking their IP. And they have a Maxi, but we have a Called By. And I think that's just about the end of their interaction, save for their actual face down card, because they've already used Carrot and Elf here, so yeah, it's really just this one back row, and then they might have like an Ash Blossom or something in hand we might have to be worried about, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, right? Overlaying Masquerena and the Diva we just summoned, going into the Gigantic Spright at 3,200, because we used the Link Monster, pulling out a Blue from the deck. Little Boy Blue is going to get us a Jet, just like they did for our opponent. And Jet's going to grab a starter, once again, just like it did for our opponent. Alright, we're linking off Diva and Blue, going for an Elf here. Starters coming down for the Carrot. Elf is activating to bring back Blue. Moving to battle phase. Running over as much as of our opponent's stuff as we can. Blue and Jet going for the... we're summoning the Pit Knight Airly here. Alright. Gamma Burst is double-sided, so we do have to remember that it will buff our opponent's monsters as well. Ooh, they're using Crossout on the Carrot. That's a little rough, but definitely not the end of the world, to be fair. Alright, Blue, so we're gonna... Let's see, they're gonna get a red, especially red. Overlaying... Oh, Blue and Sprint. I was confused for a second. I was like, what got overlaid? Alright, here is the Gigantic effect activating. We're going to chain Elf to get back the Blue, which will get hit with the Spright red here. It's unfortunate. Pit Knight Airly is a win, not an if, so we couldn't throw Airly on the same chain link there because the last thing that happened wasn't Elf's effect activating. It was Red's before Pit Knight Airly would have had a chance to activate, because of how priority gets passed to the opponent and missing timing, etc., etc. Oh wait, they Ronin? That was weird. Do they already have dupe in the yard? Or... Okay, I just wanted to search off Jet. That was still a little bit odd. I think, I don't know. Wait, what did they get off Jet? Was that Smashers? No, it was Gamma Burst. That's weird. Stanley could have brought back the Swap Frog and gotten an extra body. I guess Stanley thought the Gamma Burst was gonna OTK here. Which, should be fair, I've definitely made that mistake. I mean, I literally made that mistake today, actually. The time I'm recording this, it's the day of the RCS, which is a tournament night. And when I played against my friend Zeke, I totally forgot that Gamma Burst would buff the Link 2 on his field, and I ran my own monster right into it. So, that's actually a completely understandable misplay. See, misplays are only acceptable if they're ones that I make, too. That's a joke, of course. I'm just being facetious, but yeah. Ooh, we got the Pixies. Love Pixies. We're not even going to use it here, though. Yeah, we really don't need it, actually. Oh, we're going to Cat Shark them? That's good. Oh, and then Gamma Burst will pump it up even more. Yo, that was good. That was a nice finish. That was a good one, Toad Talker. Hell yeah, thanks for that submission. We love to see it. We love the Spright decks. But, yeah. Bunch of fun games this time around. Thanks everybody Thanks everybody for submitting. Thanks everybody who submitted. I was combining those. Regardless of if I showed your game or not, thank you very much for submitting. And I mean that because we could not do this series without you all, the viewers, submitting games for the special. So thanks everyone. It is hugely appreciated. And even if you didn't get featured this week, there's always next week as well. Again, you can just submit on those replays over on the Discord, link in the description below. But let's go ahead and move now to our outro. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching all the way to the very end. That means a whole lot to me, and it's also a fantastic way to support the channel. And if you're interested in supporting the channel in other ways besides YouTube, there are plenty of ways to do that. If you check out the description below, you'll find a bunch of links down there. One of them goes to my Patreon. You're actually seeing the names of everyone subscribed to the Patreon on the screen right now. So if you're interested in getting your name in the credits here at the end, if you want to see more daily Master Duel content, or if you're interested in one-on-one private coaching sessions, I offer all of that on Patreon. I also stream live on Twitch. Feel free to go ahead and click that link and follow and or subscribe there. I also have the Discord community, if you want to follow that link, where hundreds of duelists have already signed up. Free to join, and you can just come hang out, talk about the game, and chill in general. Final link that's going to be in the description is my Twitter. You can follow that if you want some more notifications of what's happening with the channel. So, all in all, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.